This is True Sports and a live broadcast. Week 7.
What's up, everybody? Week 7, here we go.
Man,
Once again.
7 weeks.
Yeah. And wanted to just apologize. It's a little of a late episode, but yeah, we still got it done before the week ended, so I'm proud of ourselves because we still stayed with this. So week 7, there we go.
Yeah, life happens, and sometimes it's hard to record, but...
I mean, we both have full-time jobs, and we both have a family, so, I mean, that's neither here or there. We know we do this because we enjoy it, and it's fun, but, I mean, I'm glad we were still able to do it before the week ended.
Right, man. 7 weeks, that's crazy. It's funny because we look back, and if you would ask me 2 months ago if we were actually going to do this, I would say, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, right. I was actually thinking about that when people have asked me, you do a podcast type of thing. I always tell them, it's something one of my friends and I we talked about it for a while. We've talked about it for like months, or if not like a year or two. It's been in just conversation for a while, and I'm like, we actually just finally got it started. I mean, it's crazy that it's already in week 7, but. We'll get this episode started instead of chit-chatting the whole time, but we're gonna get started with NFL in week 9 of the regular season. So I want to start off with a question. You've kind of followed it along. You know how the Vikings were one of the top. It was the last team that was undefeated for the season, and they went on their bye week. They were 5-0. They came back, and then they've lost their last 3 games. Given they've had some injuries to their defense and all that, but are the Vikings pretty much just being exposed for what a lot of people thought they were? I personally never thought that they were going to be that good, but it was kind of like Denver was last year. Their defense was just carrying them the whole way, but they've had a lot of injuries, so it kind of changes everything. It's kind of like last year in Denver, Brandon Marshall, Von Miller, and a few of their, like Aqib Talib getting injured. They're not really going to be the same team, and plus they're a lot younger, so they don't kind of have that same experience that a lot of other, dominant defenses do.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't watched a ton of football this season. But with the Vikings, I think what's happening is that a lot of teams are trying to follow the Denver model, and it's
that we don't need a quarterback.
Well, yeah, and that we can get by with subpar or decent offense as long as we have a ridiculous defense.
With mediocre offense. Yeah.
Right. And that's going to bring losses, So, because, yes, defense wins championships. We all know that. We know that you can't win without at least a good defense. But even great defenses are going to have off days. And on those, those off days, if you don't have an offense, you're probably going to lose the game. So,
and I mean, you do need that, at least, like you said, good offense. I mean, look at the Seahawks. They had that dominant defense, but they still had a good offense. They still had Russell Wilson, who's an amazing quarterback. They had beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, who was a great running back. Their receivers, those were always kind of like interchangeable. They always had like some decent or some okay wide receivers, but that wasn't what carried them. Their defense carried them, but their offense was still good. They still had like a top 5 or even top 10, if you want to argue it, quarterback in there leading the team. I just think that
I think the thing that's striking to me is the I always look at road games. When I look at teams and whether or not they are performing or not performing, I always look at how they're doing on the road, because history tells us that if you're a decent team, you could pull off home wins. But on the road is where you're going to struggle.
Yep.
I look at the Cowboys at 4-0 on the road, and that to me looks like a team that's poised to go, all the way to the Super Bowl. I look at the Vikings, and they're 2-2 on the road. That doesn't mean that necessarily they won't make it, but I look at that number and I say, okay, if they're not the number 1 seed, which as of right now it doesn't look like that's going to happen for them, they could be in some trouble, in the postseason. Obviously, their defense is going to crank it up, and they're gonna bring it in the postseason. But
yeah, because they have a lot of players coming back from injury as well. You're right.
Right. So I would say it's too early to count them out. I would say I wouldn't say that they're getting exposed. I would say maybe they're just having some off days on the defensive end, and their offense is not strong enough to carry the team.
Their offense is weak, but anyway, so we'll move on. I mean, I just personally think that they're getting exposed for who a lot of us already thought they were. So, do you think? I mean, the Browns haven't won a game all season. Their last quarterback to win a game is Johnny Manziel. Do you think they're gonna win a game at all this season, or do you think that they'll go defeated? I mean, the opposite of undefeated.
Well, here let's look at who they're playing the rest of the season. They have a tough road ahead of them. So I'm looking for the rest of their schedule. I'm not seeing the rest of their schedule here. But I know they have some tough games ahead of them. They have Baltimore coming up, Pittsburgh, Giants. These are all tough games, and they're tough games for a good team. And they're not a good team. So then they have they have Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New York, Cincinnati, Buffalo, San Diego, and Pittsburgh again. I mean, I wouldn't pick them to win any of those games.
Yeah, at all. Neither here. Also, let me see. Was it a move? Oh yeah, the Steelers. The Steelers are surprisingly not as good as they were predicted to be in the preseason predictions, which those are always right. They were predicted to go to the Super Bowl, or they were, I think, they predicted like the third team, or like top 3, top 4 within the season. I still think they have really good talent, but they've kind of struggled with a lot of injuries. Like Ben Roethlisberger just got injured, so he just kind of came back, and he's a little rusty. I mean, that's understandable, but they're 4-4, surprisingly. A Steelers which has on paper one of the best offenses. They have Ben Roethlisberger, they have Antonio Brown, they have one of the best running backs, Le'Veon Bell, who's kind of doing good, but he's just not doing anything explosive. They even have a great backup in D'Angelo Williams, and their defense is okay, but it doesn't seem like they're doing much, which is kind of surprising to me. But I mean, we'll see. Hopefully they can pick it back up and get going and actually show up during playoffs. Because at the end of the day, we know as long as a team gets in the playoffs, that's all that really matters. Look at how many times the Giants went to the playoffs barely as a wild card and ended up winning the whole thing.
Here's a striking number for me. Guess who the top 3 teams are in touchdowns this season.
Touchdowns?
Just take a wild guess.
You're talking about passing, right? Or just passing?
No, just touchdowns. Team touchdowns for the season.
Touchdowns. I'm not sure. Patriots, I would say, will probably be top, just because Brady now is back. I don't know.
I'll give them to you. Falcons in order from 1 to 3.
Okay, yeah, Falcons.
Falcons, Chargers, and Raiders.
Okay, yeah, Raiders. Raiders have like one of the best offenses right now. And
isn't it funny though that, Falcons are having a good season. Chargers are starting to turn it around a little bit.
It's mid-season points. So there's still a lot of game left.
But they're second by a 2-touchdown margin to the Raiders.
It's because both the Chargers have a lot of shootouts with everybody. Their defense is not great, but their offense will produce. So that makes sense because with Rivers and even Melvin Gordon now turned into a great running back now at this second year. They're just like giving him the ball and he just runs it for 30 yards sometimes, or even just at the goal line they'll just hand it off to him and he'll score a touchdown. So it makes sense. It's not a complete shocker.
So there's 3 teams that are undefeated on the road. What are those 3 teams?
Undefeated on the road. What you already said, the Cowboys earlier, so I know that. Are the Patriots?
Yep. Patriots. Yeah, Patriots, Cowboys, and Raiders.
Raiders. Oh, okay. I don't know the Raiders.
I'm getting to a theme here, so I want you to see the theme real quick. I'm getting to a theme, so I want you to see the theme. Okay. Last one. All right. So who is your pick, your favorite to win the Super Bowl this year?
Probably Patriots. Because, I mean, since Brady's been back, they've just been on fire. Their defense is doing really good. Not, like, unstoppable, but their offense is just pretty much playing like if they have to go out for a shootout, but their defense is stopping the other teams to not have to compete in a shootout. I mean, they have a healthy Brady. They have a healthy Gronk now. Their running back Deion Lewis is coming back. They have a really good squad. They have a really good team. Scary.
So win percentage is Patriots, Cowboys, and Raiders. So I want you to see the theme there. There's one team that was in all of those categories. Which team was that? Raiders.
Okay.
I think we're seeing we're seeing the evolution of the Raiders' return to greatness. I'm not a Raider fan, but I grew up going to Raider games because my aunt, my aunt had season tickets to the Raiders, so I always enjoyed going to those games. But I think this is remarkable because they went from being one of the worst teams in the league past several years to now leading in several categories, as well as, in my opinion, being a favorite to not only go to the Super Bowl, but potentially win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, their defense is just not that great. Their offense is amazing.
Right.
Their
So,
defense is not good. Is probably, I know, the bottom half for sure.
So in a shootout with the Patriots, who would you pick to win that game? If it was Raiders and Patriots, they're having a shootout.
I mean, they're both in the AFC, so that probably is not
No,
gonna
I'm not
happen.
saying, yes, obviously we're not talking about Super Bowl right now, but I'm just
but
saying
Patriots.
if them and the Patriots, because they're the top
Patriots-
two teams in the league right now, in
Patriots
my
because
opinion.
they're gonna be they're more prepared for that spotlight and they're more prepared for that type of moment. And their defense is better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I would say their defense is better than the Raiders, but right now, with the way the Raiders are playing, I would pick the Raiders. But staying on...
I would definitely pick the Patriots. But the one thing I did actually call the Raiders thing like last year. I remember I was telling a bunch of people who who weren't even Raiders fans that I was like, dude, watch out. Within the next couple of years, the Raiders are going to be scary good. They have very young talent, and they're learning.
Yeah, you've definitely been saying that.
No,
for a long time.
when they got Amari Cooper and he produced, I was like, okay, they got a solid a second receiver because Crabtree, he was always good. He was good before, and he's kind of like a little resurrection. Derek Carr is actually learning. He's getting better. He's not afraid to throw downfield. He's not afraid to take a hit and stay in the pocket or even run out of the pocket if he needs to, just to buy more time for his receivers. And they have a solid running game where they have those. I believe they have Murray and they have those two. I know one was a rookie. I don't know if the other one is a rookie, but they have a running back committee, which is good for them.
Yeah, I think Crabtree is really the key to their success.
Yeah, he doesn't get enough credit.
So, on that note, some people are saying that Brady should be the MVP, which I'll reserve my thoughts.
We already know your
right. So I'll hold my thoughts. Curious your thoughts on who you think. Granted, we are not all the way through the season yet, but based on where we're at in the season right now, who would you pick as the MVP?
I don't know who I would pick yet, just because it's kind of early on.
Give me your top three.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a 4, which is Matt Ryan, who's been producing with 2,980 yards. So he's throwing for over 331 yards a game. So he's doing 23 touchdowns. And then we also have Derek Carr, who we mentioned earlier, 2,505 yards. So he's averaging 278 yards per game. As much as I would hate to admit it, Dak Prescott's actually doing pretty good too, where he's at 2,020 yards, averaging 252 a game. And then we have Tom Brady, who, I mean, the numbers are going to be a little skewed for him just because he was suspended for the first 4 games, 1,319 yards. But based off of the games that he's played, he's averaging 329 yards. So technically, he's averaging just below what Matt Ryan is averaging. I mean, I don't want to sound like a Brady apologist or Brady hype man over here, but I mean, I would just say Brady is having a great season, but I don't know if I would give it to him just because he wasn't there those first 4 games. I know based off of average, he's kind of in that top 2 discussion anyways, but it's kind of hard to give it to somebody who wasn't there the first 4 games, whatever happened. And, even though he was falsely accused, as Chris likes to put it, for that, cheating, even though
there's no falsely in it.
But I don't know. It's a hard decision. But one thing I did want to kind of give out was that I don't think David Johnson is getting enough credit as a running back as he should, because a lot of people are like, Ezekiel Elliott has the most rushing yards in the league, which granted he does. I'm not taking that away from him. The only thing I'm saying is that David Johnson does way more than just rush for the ball. He has 705 rushing yards in the season, but he also has 407 yards receiving. So he's already up at 1,100 yards above it, which I think is amazing. I mean, if you have a dual threat running back, much rather have someone who can run the ball and also play like a receiver, just throw it to him in the backfield, and he gets you a first down almost every time, which I think is great and isn't talked about as much. What do you think?
So I have two running backs. One would be Ezekiel Elliott, and the second would be Melvin Gordon.
I'm so glad Melvin Gordon's finally developing to what I honestly thought he was going to be this good last year, but, whatever happens to rookie, it happens, and he wasn't in the right position, but I'm glad that he's developing now into this type of player.
He has an amazing quarterback, so what can you say?
He had him last year.
He right now he's on pace for a 1,500-yard rushing season. He's already up to almost 300 yards receiving.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, so he's on pace right now to have 1,500 yards rushing, and roughly about 600 or 700 yards receiving, which is a remarkable season. So I think he has to be in the conversation. Unfortunately, he won't, because the Chargers, unless they turn the season around completely, which is still, there's a chance. But then if the Chargers turn the season around, you also have to put Phillip Rivers in that conversation. So I have
you open the can of worms with that.
Well, I have actually three quarterback picks. My first would be Dak Prescott. I think what he's doing, carrying the Cowboys on his back, is phenomenal. Phillip Rivers, because I just believe he is proving once again that he is top two, if not the best quarterback in the league. Phillip Rivers. And then my third. Well, no, come on, man. Yes, the Chargers struggle to win, and that's why he's never in the conversation. But his numbers speak for themselves. And then Derek Carr. I think you have to put Derek Carr in that conversation. He has had an incredible season. Matt Ryan would be on the bubble for me, because we know who he is and what he's got. Yeah, he's having a good season, but he's consistent. But he's consistently good. But I wouldn't put him in that phenomenal or stellar category. Dak Prescott, potentially just earned himself the Cowboys quarterback position. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when Romo comes back. There's a good chance he could come back next week.
Just my observation, I have a feeling that Romo had been ready to play for a while. They just don't want to.
I think so too.
Conversation. All right, one thing that I did want to bring up is how you mentioned all the other quarterbacks. Matt Ryan has a better QB rating than all of them. He's actually at 119. He has the third highest QB rating. I just thought that was an interesting stat.
Yeah. Again, for me, he's on the bubble. Like, if I was voting, he would be on the bubble for me, just because I am so impressed with Dak Prescott and Derek Carr. And then I just feel like Phillip Rivers is always an afterthought, which is so frustrating because he is consistently one of the greatest, and will probably go down in history.
Though. It's because the other teams have better records. It's just like with Matt Ryan, even though his team is, I think they're 5-3. He's just not getting the exposure that the other players are. Obviously Tom Brady's always get that exposure, and then the top other teams are going to get it, which is the Cowboys. They're 7-1, I believe, and then the Raiders, they've only lost 2 games, I believe. So, like I said, it's just because they have better records, they're going to get that exposure more.
Right now, Phillip Rivers is on pace for a 5,000-yard season. He's got 17 touchdowns already and a rating of 96.2. That's not shabby.
That's not bad, but it's not 119. The only thing I'm saying is keep an eye out for Matt Ryan, and then you'll see. Like, just look at him. And I've never thought he was that great.
Look at who he has as receivers.
Who? Julio Jones, who's always kind of like on the injury report where he's not 100%. dude. Okay, but
Does Phillip Rivers have a Julio Jones?
well, he had Keenan Allen, and
Had
now
week one.
and he has Travis Benjamin.
Exactly. My point is that Phillip Rivers is making nobodies all-stars.
Okay, but
Matt Ryan is not going to make a nobody an all-star.
well, I mean, he has what's that guy's name? Sanu, whatever. That guy's actually been getting a lot of exposure now, and no one really knew who he was.
I'll give him credit for having a good season.
No, and that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is keep an eye out for him because I don't think he's getting enough credit that he actually should and the exposure that he actually should be getting. He's actually putting up really good numbers. The only one he has is Julio Jones, and I mean the defense is they have their home game plan around Julio Jones, and yet Matt Ryan still finds a way to give him the ball. He finds his opening. But anyway, let's move on to the Rams. So what do you think? Did you hear about that "We Want Golf" thing? The chants going on.
I told you, we want Goff. We want Goff. I knew it was going to happen eventually.
But it was one of that. Did you hear?
Fisher tried to say I didn't really hear it. It's like, come on, dude. I know you heard it.
He said he heard it. I was reading an article. He said he heard it, but
I listened to him say, "No, well, I didn't really hear the chants."
No, I read. I heard one too where he said that he heard it, but he said he likes the fans being passionate, but he's not gonna go based off of what the fans want. So it doesn't change anything.
Well, of course, he's trying to save his job right now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's buying himself time. I've been saying that. That's all it is, and
it's annoying.
I mean, what did you expect from Jack Fisher, who's known for always being what is it, 8-8? Is his nickname, aka 8-8? That's all he does.
Yeah, it's about time. Is all I'm gonna say.
For golf?
For golf. The frustrating part about it is we're not gonna get a realistic picture of who Goff is and what he's gonna be. With so few games left in the season.
But I think it could be. I think it could be good if he personally, if he comes in the latter part of the season, he'll be able to learn, more of kind of how the pace is in the NFL and be able to kind of be aware with the receivers, with the offensive line, with with Todd Gurley's, underwhelming self. I think it'll be good, a little kind of refresher for him to be able to be better next season. But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. A huge conversation that I really want us to get into next week, but a little teaser is the Chargers.
Dude, did you see that game with the Titans?
Well, aside from football, on the field football, San Diego voted against the tax increase on the hotels in order to provide the stadium. Yeah. Right. So San Diego spoke. Yeah. They don't want to help with the stadium.
Yeah, I know. I did read about that, and I also saw like some fans made like a big poster, and they were like, I guess they were trying to like make it seem like they want to revote so they can try to keep them, but I don't think that's going to happen at all.
No, it's not going to happen because there's a select few of people who are, agree with it.
Yeah. That sucks though.
I'd be willing to say that there is a 95% chance that they end up in LA now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair, if not not higher. But I mean, because realistically, where else do you think they would go? I don't think that they would go anywhere else.
Nowhere. I mean, the Raiders already locked up Vegas, so where are you going to go?
That's going to be so sick.
I'm actually excited about the Raiders going to Vegas. Dude, I mean, obviously it's not 100% yet.
Yeah, I know. But now that they're winning, I mean, that's going to bring a huge new, like a better environment, a better feeling for them. Like, especially if they get some playoff experience or, and then start going over there. That's awesome. So they have a young team. It's good. It's different, and I'm sure
it's cool. I mean, yeah. I think about if you're out in Vegas and you're hanging out, you want to do something fun, and the Raiders are playing at home this weekend. I think it's just. I mean, there's a ton of things to do in Vegas. It's not like they need more things to do. But I think if anybody fits, if you told me the Chargers were moving to Vegas, I would say it's stupid. Yeah. But the Raiders just fit in Vegas. Yeah, it's like it should have happened a long time ago, is what it feels like.
Their opponents are going to be worn out every game. They're going to be hungover. They're not going to know what to do. I mean, their opponents are going to suck every game. They might win every home game. One thing I did want to mention, I did have 2 listeners reach out to me during the week. One of them, who's a Patriots fan, was telling me how he was laughing. He's like, dude, Chris is such a Patriots hater. I didn't know Chris hated Brady and the Patriots so much. I'm like, yeah, he does. And he wanted me to just tell you that Stop hating on Brady, and that Brady's the GOAT.
It's not that I hate the Patriots.
Yeah, you do.
I just have a great distaste for Brady and for Belichick because they're cheaters.
You don't have to.
I can't stand cheaters. So I don't necessarily hate the Patriots. Like
cheating in the game or just cheating in general?
just cheating in general.
Because
like,
Kobe cheated on his wife. Would that be?
okay, no, we're not going there. We're not going there.
I'm just saying. That's why I asked. Like
No,
in general, all
we're
right.
not going there.
Well,
I'm saying
like,
there are
'cause we can-
rules to the game.
There's rules to
that
marriage.
were
You brought it
cheated
up
on.
last week.
Yeah, but that didn't affect me. That affected him and his family. That did not affect
Brady
me.
didn't affect you either.
No, but he affected the Patriots fans, and he cheated the other teams.
Kobe affected his wife. That's why
So-
he had to buy her $5 million ring. Just saying.
Again, didn't affect me. Didn't affect the Lakers.
Oh yeah, and one other listener. Oh, it was his birthday last week, so he told me if I give him a shout out as a birthday present. So shout out to Danny in Dallas. Happy late birthday.
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, and I know you wanted me to say a bunch of good stuff about the Cowboys, but that's not going to happen. So let's move on to the NBA now.
Oh, whoever said Brady's the GOAT, I just wonder if you're a Donald Trump supporter because Brady's great friends with Donald Trump.
Let's not get into politics. Do you want to talk about our president that way? Technically, it's official now. So, but let's not get into politics.
Anyway, so
hey, how you doing in fantasy? I'm one game behind you. And
I keep losing, man. It
happens every game. No one goes undefeated. It happens. As long as you get in the playoffs, then you should start kind of making a big deal then. And that's when you got to really focus.
Well, the frustrating part is, so we're in a basketball league too, and I keep forgetting to put my starters in.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, so in fantasy football, I keep having phenomenal weeks numbers-wise, but I'm losing. And it's like I'm losing to teams that I shouldn't be losing to. It's frustrating.
I know. Tell about it. I lost to you. Oh, I beat you today in fantasy basketball.
You beat me today because I didn't start my starters. I have. Let's see. I have
Sounds like an excuse to me. Yeah,
Drummond
it's an excuse.
and Lopez on the bench. Start active players. I wonder how that works.
I don't know what
auto
that
player
does.
swap.
I tried it one time and then I was just like, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of takes you out of playing.
I don't think it works if like the game's already passed though, Chris.
Yeah, no, it's too late for that. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm struggling a little bit right now. I'm 6-3.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not terrible, but I was in first place in the league, and I have now fallen to tied for third. So I mean, I'm only a game back, but. Yeah. We'll see. The thing is that I have mastered the wire.
That's what you got to do. That's what helped me out last season.
It's been huge, man. I have picked up some really great players on the wire. One player that I want to recommend to everybody that has a fantasy league is Theo Riddick, the Lions running back. Dude, he was on the wire. I picked him up on the wire. I guess he must have been injured or something. He was down because he had a couple big weeks.
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, he was down for 2 weeks, but he has had 1, 2, 3 games over 20 fan points.
Oh, wait, Chris, wait, hold on. Oh, look, your boyfriend's on TV. Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Oh, you mean that's ESPN's boyfriend? They have a love affair with him. Same kind of love affair they have with LeBron.
Ooh. Virtue.
But anyways, he has very favorable matchups the rest of the season. He's projected to do really well. So if you're looking for a running back RB1, RB2 option, he's a great running back option. The other one,
I actually drafted him in my work league, and then I dropped him like an idiot. I know.
The other one that I just picked up last week was Tim Hightower, because the Saints have a lot of injuries at the running back position. So Tim Hightower has been getting most of the workload, and he's been having huge games. So because he's having huge games,
because they played San Francisco. Sucks.
No, but he's now possibly going to stay, in that role.
They said that he's going to stay as a RB2, but they're going to try to do like a committee. The 1 week where the first week where he had a big week was Mark Ingram gave up a fumble almost I think it was the first quarter, and they just sat him down. So he ended up with like negative points that week. So Tim Hightower just took over, and he just stayed the rest of the game. And then last week him and Mark Ingram kind of just took turns with it, and they both just went off on the Niners defense, which is not a surprise.
Yeah,
I think Chip Kelly's gonna get fired. Just so you know.
Well, that's not surprising.
Go back to Oregon. We need you in Oregon.
Yeah,
he's a great football coach, not a good NFL coach.
Yeah. I might get Doug Martin back, which would be nice because he's been out for a long time.
He started practicing today in full. I saw a news thing.
That would be amazing. He's been out since week 2, and I need him back.
I hope Mike Evans gets out of the concussion protocol because they took him out of the game last week on Thursday night, and in a standard scoring league, he gave me 27 points as a receiver. He had 2 touchdowns and 150 yards, which is amazing. He went off. Dope.
Nice. Somebody that I picked up recently is Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs.
Dope pickup. Good pickup.
Yeah, he's been having some good games. I mean, we'll see if it continues, but he's got some favorable matchups. He's got like 3 games in a row that are very, very favorable. So if you're looking for some options, Tyreek Hill is a good option. Doug Martin's coming back, so if he's on your wire, definitely pick him up. Tim Hightower is a good option. Theo Riddick. Also one more that I wanted to bring up is Michael Thomas from New Orleans.
Good luck getting him.
Yeah, I mean, good luck getting him now, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've had him on my team twice. I picked him up initially, and then I dropped him because I had too many players. Yeah. Right, and then I picked him up again. I could not believe that he was on the wire when I went back and picked him up back in week 5. He has had 17, 24, 10, 23 in consecutive weeks.
This is a PPR league.
Yeah, PPR league. So, yeah. There you go.
No,
those are my picks.
Yeah, nope. I haven't really been on the wire that much this season. I've just kind of the league we play, and I've kind of just stuck with the players I got because I'm just kind of I had like great, like amazing players, but I'm just like, please just kind of start doing good. I don't want to get rid of like DeAndre Hopkins or Allen Robinson, Jordy Nelson, because I mean they're great players, and I'm just kind of hoping that they'll kind of get back into their mode again. But in my other league, I've actually played the wire quite a bit. I finally got I got this week John Brown, then I got Sterling Shepard, who I had and then kind of got rid of, and then I got the Rams defense from there. I've just been kind of doing some trades, trying to get different players here and there. I had Jacquizz Rodgers, but now that Doug Martin's coming back, I don't even know if he's going to play. He'll probably be backup if he's healthy again. But now it's time for Chris's favorite part of the podcast and talk about Tom Brady. I mean, the Clippers. I mean, yeah, basketball. Dude, wait, weren't the Clippers ranked like 2? Weren't they ranked above the Warriors?
I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to talk NBA. I do want to talk Lakers, and I do want to talk NBA power rankings.
Can you just give the Clippers some credit? I don't want you to kiss.
Dude, I said last week that they are a really good regular season team.
So condescending.
If the championship was won in the second round of the playoffs, they would win it every year.
You're so passive aggressive.
Now, okay, but here's something I want to bring up. This is awesome. Okay, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, guess who the Clippers would face in round 1?
D-League team?
The Lakers.
Yeah, D-League team. Well, good thing it doesn't start in the first 10 days of the season, right?
Say what you want, okay? Say what you want. Coming into the season, the Lakers were ranked 27th in the power rankings. Take a wild guess where they're at right now.
Well, if I'm just off of basic math, because the Clippers are 2, right?
Well, that's power rankings. We're talking about power rankings right now. In the West, yes, the Clippers are 2nd in the West, and the Lakers are 7th. Yeah.
Can you let me answer the question, Christopher?
I'm talking about power rankings.
Boy, I know, but you said if they were to face them, so you asked me where would they be ranked?
Yeah.
All right, anyways. So, yeah, I mean, we can just let the Lakers have their fun right now because they're actually – hold on. I'm looking it up. Hold on. Their record is 4-4. Yay, they're at 500. They're acting like they won the championship again, or they're going to playoffs.
Nobody's acting like we won the championship. What I'm saying is that
ahead, Chris.
right. What I'm saying is that the Lakers. I'm looking at the power rankings, okay? Because power rankings says a lot. There's teams that we expected to do better. Maybe not amazing, but better. And they are doing terrible. I'm talking about Pelicans, Mavericks.
Oh, we knew the Pelicans would be bad. Wait, didn't the Mavericks just beat you guys yesterday?
Yes. The Lakers in the fourth quarter, they just, they didn't have the same fire that they've had all season. So I'm sure they'll turn that around.
Like the Warriors when they lost to you guys.
Warriors got worked.
Yeah, but did you see how the
but I'm talking about power rankings. Can we get back to the power rankings?
Yeah,
please?
did you see how the Clippers destroyed the Spurs by 26? Ooh, that was nice.
Good for them.
I know. Clippers.
So, anyways, if they play the Lakers first round this year, they'll get knocked out in the first round. So, I mean, that'll be different.
Who, the Lakers? Yeah, right.
No, the Clippers. Anyways, the Lakers right now are currently
if they play in the playoffs.
Lakers are currently 15th in the power rankings. The reason why it's remarkable to me is because of the teams that are below them in the power rankings. Mm-hmm. So let me read this to you real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 1 through 15, and then we'll go past that. Okay, so
some hot chocolate.
1 is the Cavaliers, obviously. Cavs are just destroying the league right now, which is nuts. I expect them to do good, but this is nuts. Yeah. Then the Clippers are second.
Wait, no, the Cavs just lost 6-1. Sorry.
Yeah. Clippers are second, which is a jump from fourth. So, yes, Clippers are doing good. Golden State is at 3. The Spurs are at 4. They dropped from 2 in the power rankings. Oklahoma City is a bit of a surprise at number 5. Toronto Raptors, they dropped down to 6th. Charlotte Hornets jumped up to number 7. I don't expect them to maintain that, though.
Yeah, where were the Raptors before? So
Raptors were 5th, and they dropped down to 6th, so they dropped one spot.
Okay,
Hornets jumped up, though, from 11. The Jazz, which was my pick for the number 4 seed, they're up to number 8 in the power rankings. Trailblazers are up to down to 9. They dropped 1 spot. They'll turn it around though. They tend to start a little slow.
They have a really good team.
The Atlanta Hawks are number 10. The Celtics are 11. Detroit Pistons.
Oh wow, surprise.
Are number 12. They jumped up from 14. Pacers are up to 13.
What up, Paul
Nuggets are another surprise. I didn't expect them to be this high, but they're number 14. Which, them and the Lakers, I think, are going to swap back and forth a bit over the next couple weeks.
We didn't have to go to 15. Just skip to 16.
Then
16,
15.
The Rockets,
okay, so look at all those teams that I just named either jumped up 2 to 3 spots or dropped down 1 spot. Okay, the Lakers at number 15 jumped up from 27. If that's not remarkable, I don't know what is.
It's not, because it's only 8 games.
How is it not remarkable?
It's only 8 games in the season.
Right. Yes. It's only 8 games in the season.
The only thing I'm saying, if they maintain this for like even halfway or the whole season, or even remain like in the playoff contention, then I will give you credit and be like, dang, they really did something. They turned the whole thing around. But I'm just saying, I don't want to like jump and say and give them credit when it's just this far in the season.
How can you not give them credit? So here's my thing though. Why is it that with the Lakers, if they do good, we won't give them credit, but the Cavaliers right now are destroying the league, and it's like we give them all the credit in the world. Is it not too early for the Cavs?
Yeah,
are we getting too excited about the Cavs?
No, well, they're the defending champs. So
right, but that's my point, is that we say, okay, it is, yes, it's very early, okay? But even though it's early, it is okay to say this is remarkable.
I don't think so.
Everybody expected the Lakers to be, 0-8 right now.
Oh, I didn't. Like I said, I still think that they'll win 35 games. I said that last time, which I think my number was higher than yours. I still think that they'll win 35. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs, but I think that they'll make a good improvement from last year.
Right. They are the only team to jump that far in the power rankings. That's why I say it's remarkable. Yes, it's still early in the season. Yes, we're not saying that they're a championship team right now. But what I am saying is that what is happening with the Lakers is remarkable.
It's a honeymoon phase. I don't think
it's not a honeymoon phase. No, it's not. It's the front office being diligent in maintaining draft picks and getting the right picks, and then going out and making the best decision, going against what they normally do. They typically will be, Laker Hall of Fame homers, right? So it's like the fact that they let Byron Scott go was shocking because that's not a Laker move.
Nah, that wasn't shocking. Byron Scott was there to babysit Kobe in his last years.
We all agree with that.
He was going to leave.
We all agree with that. But the fact that they let Byron Scott go, who is a Laker Hall of Famer, was shocking. That's why I say that we have to give this front office credit because they drafted the right players, they put the right veterans around, and then they went and did. Okay, but everybody said that them taking Mozgov was stupid. But now look at Mozgov. He is dominating the paint. He's given them that defensive stability that they needed. He's vocal. He's leading the defense, which is what they needed.
Okay.
Right? So that's what I'm saying is that we have to give this front office credit. And, I love the fact that Marcellus Wiley said, look, I have a new respect for this office, for the Lakers organization and what they've done to put this team in position to be successful. Yes, it's too early to say, man, yeah, they turned it around. They're going to be amazing. We're not saying that. But what we are saying is that they have made the right moves and the fruit of their labor is starting to show.
No, I've read a lot of posts by friends of mine already going and saying playoff ready and playoff contenders, and you guys better hop back on this purple and gold wagon because after December, you guys aren't allowed on this wagon anymore. I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah,
so
it's that is.
The only thing I'm saying is I will give them credit later on in the season if they maintain this. I'm just not impressed with 8 games in. I didn't expect them to be 8-0. I expect them to probably be like 3-5 at this point. So I'm really not that surprised now.
What that is true Laker fans, really taking shots at all the people who jumped off the Lakers and ran over to the Clippers and ran over to the Warriors. Because true Laker fans
naming them Lakers North, there's no Lakers North. It's not the same thing.
Right. Okay. I mean, yes, there's a lot of Laker blood in that organization, but it's a joke to say they're Lakers North. Yes, it's a joke.
Yeah,
it's
that's
funny.
What I'm saying. I mean,
but my point is that
move around all the time.
My point is that you're going to see a lot of Laker fans saying some ridiculous things on social media because Laker fans are going to take shots at all the fair weather Laker fans who in 09 and 10 were all about Lakers. And now all of a sudden they're all about Clippers and all about Warriors. And so, yes, true Laker fans are like, all you people that didn't stick with the team and gave up on the team when they were losing and went and jumped on the other bandwagons, don't jump on this wagon. Don't come back to us after December and say, I'm a Laker fan again.
Oh, I hope they don't jump back now. Like, I think only true fans should be on it now. Because if you're gonna jump at now when you see a little glimpse, oh yeah, Lakers. No. You weren't there through their struggles, so don't try to come up.
Yeah, don't try and be a part of the success. And that's what I'm saying is that Laker fans are tired of, just like you're tired of all the fair weather fans that jump on the bandwagon and then go, yeah, Lakers championship because we won 5 games. Lakers fans are tired of it too. Our thing is if you weren't with us during the struggle, then don't jump on now. Stay with your Warriors, stay with your Clippers, and let us have this because we've stuck with the team and we've watched 3 terrible seasons in a row.
And I've enjoyed every single second of that.
This is a really quick. I want to run through why it's even more remarkable to me that they're number 15. Timberwolves are 1-4. That is a shocking number to me because I expected them to be much better.
Yeah, that is shocking. I expect them to be way better than that. They have such good talent too.
Yeah.
They have
really
good talent.
Here are the teams that are below the Lakers. The Rockets, the Heat, Grizzlies, Bulls, Bucks, Magic, Suns, Kings, Knicks, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Wizards, Nets, and Pelicans, and 76ers.
Dang.
Several of these teams we expected to be top 5 in their division. Mm-hmm. Top 5 in their conference, sorry. Yeah. So the fact that the Lakers are above these teams to me is remarkable. Yeah. And this is an ESPN power ranking as well, which is even more remarkable because ESPN doesn't give the Lakers credit for anything.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I'll say is that I know they need to update it because
this was updated 2 days ago when we were supposed to do the podcast.
When we were supposed to do it. Yeah, no, I get it. The only thing because
they update it weekly.
Yeah, because I was looking at the Rockets record, and I'm sure they're gonna go up because right there they were 3-3, and I'm looking at the record now and they're 5-3. So I'm sure. I mean, like I said,
next week we'll see what the power rankings are.
But and then we'll go over that. I mean, teams are gonna drastically move up and down. It's gonna happen. So if teams are a little low, don't freak out. I'm sure we probably don't even know any Rockets fans are actually real Rockets fans, but we'll see what happens. And so I'm sure you're loving this, beginning of this season because your team is finally starting to show some daylight.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that I'm having fun watching them. I took my wife and my 8-month-old to the game against the Suns, and it was so much fun, man. This team is so fun to watch because they're fighting for each other, and they're getting after loose balls. Nick Young is just playing out of his mind, and it's so fun to watch. The way they move the ball. One of the things, this is what stood out to me the most in that game. Towards the end of the game, Tyson Chandler and Julius Randle were getting into it. They kept having heated arguments, some shoving, some pushing, and then they started to get into it to where they got a double tech. Then the Lakers inbounded the ball, and Luke Walton walked over to the scorer's table, and it looked like he was going to call timeout. Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell called isolation play for Julius Randle. Julius went ISO, started taunting Tyson, and then pumped like he was going to drive to the basket, dished it out to a wide open Jordan Clarkson because the defense had collapsed to the paint thinking that Julius was going to drive because that's what he would normally do in the past. Dished it out to him. Jordan nailed the three, and that changed the game. That play right there won them the game. And that's what stands out to me most about this team is that they are making the right basketball plays. They are playing for each other, and any one of them can go off on any night. It's not, James Harden has to get his tonight and then everybody else can get theirs. It's all of us are playing for each other. If Swaggy's going off, he's going to take the shots. If Lou Williams is going off, he's going to take it. If D'Angelo's playing is hot, he's taking it. And then Julius Randle is just head and shoulders above what he was last year. And last year he was a double-double guy. And we're talking about somebody who is better than they were last year as a double-double player. This team is fun, man, and it's exactly what I've been saying it was going to be. They're fun. They're going to win some games. Yes, they're going to lose some tough ones, but they're winning. The most important thing to me is they are winning the games that nobody has them winning. They lost to the Mavericks, who they should have beat, but they beat the Hawks. They beat the Warriors. On the road, they beat the Hawks. So they're winning games that nobody expected them to win. They beat the Rockets at home. And the coolest thing is that Luke told them, we have to win home. Do not let anybody come into our house and take this from us. This is our house. We win here. And they have really taken that to heart. And Meta hit them with the I love basketball quote. And so that's their new thing. That's their motto is I love basketball. I just love it, man. The camaraderie, the team effort. It's fun to watch. They could lose, they could go 30 wins this year, and I would be happy based on what we're seeing right now. Unless there was just a colossal collapse.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's all about a process for you guys, which I said. But the only thing I will point out is that you said that D'Angelo Russell was going to average a double-double with assists, and he's averaging 3.5 assists. Just a fun fact out there. I wanted to throw out there.
That's got to be inaccurate because the past 3 games he's had over 5 assists. We need to fact check that. That's rebounds, 3.4 game, three blocks on the season. He's averaging 3 blocks. That's the other thing. His team is playing defense. Him and Nick Young are just blocking everything.
All right, hold on. My bad. He is actually averaging. Hold on. I will do it right now. He's averaging. Crap, that's not it.
It's 41 divided by 8.
Yeah.
5.1. Right.
Yeah, but
he's averaging over 5 assists a game, which.
No, I'm saying that's not a small feat, but I mean, just because I just want to call you because you said it'd be double.
Again, you said it's early.
Oh,
right?
No, it is.
So there's still plenty of time for him to get those numbers up, and he's working on it. It's one of those things. It's some nights he has to be take on the scoring load. Some nights he's passing. He's struggled a little bit with his shot, so he is passing a lot more. So I think they right now, based on power rankings, based on stats, and based on conference ranking, I would say that the Lakers are my biggest surprise team. I expected them because I believe in the players that we have. I expected them to have a good season.
Just not this good right away.
I did not expect them to come out firing and beat the Rockets, Hawks, and Warriors all within the first week of the season. That's remarkable to me. So they're my biggest surprise. My second biggest surprise is the Timberwolves. Yeah, I am shocked that they are losing.
That would be my surprise. I'm surprised that they're that bad. They're terrible.
Yeah,
they're like the new Lakers.
And they're losing games that they should be winning. Yeah. And that's the flip side of what the Lakers are.
True, and that's what you don't want. You don't want to be losing the ones that should be givens, the ones that you need to be winning. My other big surprise, well, I probably shouldn't say surprise because I kind of figured and I was hoping it would happen, was the Clippers, that they're that high, and I love every single minute.
The who?
Clippers.
Is that even a team?
Yeah, that's a team.
That's that other team in LA. That's right.
Yeah, the one that owns Staples Center. Yeah, the one that dominates, and that's their house.
Nah.
Now this season, yeah, that one.
Nah.
The one that has a better record than the Lakers.
Lakers still have more sellouts and higher earnings.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter. I mean, because they built it for so long. But anyways, all I'm talking about is how the Clippers are doing a lot better this season than expected, and they're killing it, which is great.
Yeah. Good for them. Regular season team. When they do something in the playoffs, then I'll give them credit. I will not give them credit until they get past the second round of the playoffs. Then I will say, good job, Clippers. You guys got past the second round.
For any of these
now
Lakers
move to
until
Seattle.
They make it to the playoffs. None of these players have. Moving on. What about, all right.
I'm going to put in a petition to move the Clippers to Seattle.
I don't think it'll work.
They can go back down to San Diego.
No, I don't think that'll work. I think they're doing just fine in LA.
No, their stadium is still in San Diego. Why not? Just move back to San Diego.
Nah, I think they're
well,
good.
Listen, we'll trade San Diego. San Diego.
Right here.
We will trade you the Chargers for the Clippers.
That's not a fair trade.
That is a fair trade.
No, it's not. Because
it is.
Football stadiums will
they're worth about the same amount of money.
Football stadiums are heck no. That's an insult to the Chargers because
no, right now the Chargers are only worth about $1 billion.
The Clippers just over way more than that. What are you talking about?
Yes, because of the players that they had on their team.
Okay, they still have
It's not because of the Clippers organization.
They still have those players right now. Well, it's actually obviously because of the location, because of LA. If it wasn't in LA, they wouldn't have sold that much.
Yeah.
Just like if the Rockets sort of
you have to win to be considered a success. They don't win except for the regular season.
Tell D'Angelo Russell that. Tell Nick Young. Tell the young
They're
team
proving
right
it.
now. No, they haven't proved it yet. They haven't won anything, just like the Clippers.
Clippers haven't won anything.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. The Lakers haven't won anything, and the Clippers have a better record and a better team. Anyway, so let's move on. Do you have any changes to your projections in your playoff teams besides, obviously, the Lakers, how you mentioned, and you also mentioned the Timberwolves? Do you have any other teams that you would consider having a better shot at getting into the playoff picture? And also, do you have any change of mindset of a team getting out of it that you mentioned last week that you thought they would, given obviously we know only first week and a half? Your opinion?
The biggest change is the Hornets. I mean, they could just be playing out of their minds right now, but they're 6-1. So if they continue the way they're playing, then I'd say the Hornets are no longer a 7 seed. I mean, we're talking maybe top 5 seed in the East. So that's the biggest change, at least for the East.
Jordan's been playing one-on-one with all them boys.
Right.
He's been getting on that floor, playing defense and staying on them.
Yeah, for the West.
West, y'all.
I don't think the Clippers are going to be able to outlast the Warriors. The Thunder, I guess, I would say would be my biggest change in the West. I had them possibly 6. I'd say they maybe hike themselves up to 5, maybe even 4. They might be able to displace the Jazz. My concern with the Thunder is that they are not going to be able to sustain this because right now Russell Westbrook is carrying that team on his back.
He's playing like a monster.
He is playing like an absolute monster. Now, some people believe that he'll be able to sustain it because he is insane. He's literally crazy. He is Kobe reincarnated.
He says he doesn't feel tired, right?
Right. Yeah. He said, I don't feel fatigue. That's all in your head.
Yeah. He said it's a mindset there.
Right. And that is Kobe's mindset. I mean, you want to talk about the definition of Mamba mentality. We are watching it in Russell Westbrook. He has definitely got the Mamba mentality. He trains with Kobe.
Yeah, that Jordan mentality, which is better, but okay.
He trains with Kobe. He's got the mentality. He's got the work ethic. I believe that he can fight through the season and carry this team. I just don't believe that he's going to be able to put up 40 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds every single night for 82 games. And
then still be good enough for playoffs.
Right, and still have something left for the playoffs. Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that for 82 games anyways. Yeah. But even if he could, there's nothing left for the playoffs.
The playoffs will be exhausted.
And you can't do it with one player in the playoffs. I mean, you're going to have entire teams attacking you, teams that are deep. The Warriors are, even though they lost a lot of pieces, they don't have as much depth, but they still have some good players coming off the bench. Right now, the Lakers have the deepest bench in the league. I don't think that the Thunder could beat the Lakers in a 7-game series because they don't have the depth. The Lakers can come at you with 6-7 different guys in a series. Thunder have 1, maybe 2. So
wait, who would be the 2? Oladipo?
Yeah, Oladipo. I think Oladipo can have his nights. Steven Adams is good, but he's,
What's his name? Enes Kanter is pretty good, too. They're reliable for what they do. They're not going to, take it and give you 40 a night. But, they're good for their rebounds. They're good for their defense, their blocking abilities. They're good for that. So, I think that they're good. I don't think they should be underestimated, but... Yeah. I honestly think that...
My biggest change, I guess, would be the Timberwolves, based on everything that we just talked about. Because the Thunder, yes, they're going to jump up maybe a spot or two, but the Timberwolves to me have, again, it's still early. They could still turn it around, but the trajectory that they are on right now is a very bad, they're on a bad path.
Yeah, I get you.
So, they're, in my opinion right now, if I had to pick one team in the West that is either positive or negative, either moving up or falling out of the playoffs, I'd say it's Timberwolves falling out.
For sure. I honestly personally just can't wait to see what the Trailblazers are going to do. They're an exciting young team.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
They have a lot of good players, too.
And they're deep, too. They have a good bench. You got Ed Davis on their bench still killing it. So, you know what? It was funny. I have forgotten what we were supposed to talk about next. Lakers, NBA. We covered all of it.
Yeah, that was it.
I think we've covered everything for the week.
I think we did. There was one other thing that I think we were going to talk about. I don't really remember it, but yeah.
I want to. I want to put out a teaser for next week. I put out one already. I want to put out another teaser for next week. I want to dive into the NFL and this whole no fun league stuff. I'm really curious. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on it, tweet us. Send us messages on whatever social media platform, but let us know because I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I don't really watch football as much anymore. It's just not as interesting to me anymore. But I'm curious if other people feel the same way. If they feel like the league is just trying to be too politically correct. And granted, I understand. Robots. Yes, there are certain things. You can't have a guy tweaking in the end zone. It's twerking, whatever.
Twerking. He's not smoking crystal meth, Chris. Come on.
Twerking in the end zone. Like tweaking. That's what it looked like he was doing. We just watched it right now on the highlights. It looked like he was.
He was popping.
He was like twitching,
he was popping
like having a seizure in the end zone. But I'm curious to see what everybody thinks.
He was trying to get his rent paid.
Do you guys feel like the league is being too politically correct or too strict, or do you feel like they need to have that approach in order to keep things under control? I'll share my thoughts and opinions next week. Curious to know what your thoughts and opinions are. So, do you have a tease for next week, or are you good with that stuff?
Oh, I wanted to tease or give you something to ponder on. It was a question I wanted to discuss today, but we actually run out of time. Think of with the whole politics thing of a athlete who you think would be interesting if they joined the politics.
Oh, I got one right now.
Okay, but we'll discuss that.
I'll save it for next week. I got one right now.
Later on week. All right. So yeah, that's gonna conclude our week 7 of our podcast of Unhinged Sports Talk. We don't even ever mention the name of the podcast, Unhinged Sports Talk with Andy and Chris, but you can find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, even iTunes, Unhinged Sports Talk, and you can download.
We're getting a pretty big following on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I know. Like I was noticing it. We've gotten like listens on it like every day.
Yeah, and it's going up. I saw over 30 on week 5.
Yeah, week 1 we're at over 60.
Oh,
crazy!
Which is great,
and we appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the feedback, and although you guys making fun of us when we mess up, or you texting us or hitting us up on anywhere on social media and telling us how much Chris hates the Patriots and Tom Brady, we love all that.
Or how much Andy hates the Lakers.
Yeah, keep it coming. I don't mind.
And that other team in LA.
The Clippers. Clip City, Chip City. All right, so we're going to conclude it.
Have a great week.
Stay safe. Love you guys. Bye.